Goeiemorgen, good morning, sawubona, guten morgen, salam alaikum. Today I'm going to show you how to make this very quick and easy chain stitch only summery bracelet. I have 3 examples in front of me. This one was done in a pure single color. This was done in a slightly variegated yarn. And for this one I went a little bit quirky and went like half red, half green. So these, I must add that the button is not functional. The button is purely decorative, and so you don't use the button to fasten or loosen them. They just go around your wrist. You can wear them with the fluffy bits and the button showing at the top, or you can have those at the bottom and just have the delicate strings. For this project you will need a yarn. I'm using this Venice Colors Serena, which is a 100% bamboo yarn. It's so soft and silky, and especially in summer it doesn't get scratchy or hot or anything like that against your skin. And I'm using the color Tropicana, color 6013. I don't know if you get this in any other place than South Africa or not, but I'm sure there are other brands of bamboo yarn available in other places, and I'm sure you can also do it with another yarn. It just won't have that soft and silky feeling that the bamboo yarn does. So this is a 4-ply weight, yes, and although their recommended hook size actually is a 3.25 millimeter, I will not be using that. I will be using a 4 millimeter crochet hook, and then of course you need something to snip with and a needle. For this I do not use a yarn needle because I want something with a smaller eye so that it can go through the back side of a button, because you will also need either a button, which can be a nice looking button as this one here, or a fun and quirky button like this one here. Instead of a button you could also use a bead, and for this project I'm going to use some semi-precious stones. These are unakite, and I think they will work well with a multicolor green. As you can see here, you can do it all in one color, or you can use separate colors. This is really very much whatever you want or whatever you need for a specific outfit. Okay, so let's move away all these things and get started. So to get started, make the slip knot, leaving not long, but you don't need to try to leave the tail end too short, because it will become part of these fluffy bits in the end. And then you start chaining. If you don't know how to make a slip knot, or you're not sure how to hold a yarn and the hook, or you don't know how to make a chain stitch, I have separate videos for those. And believe me, some of them are in excruciating detail. To make the chain stitch, yarn around the hook and pull it through the loop on the hook. 1 chain stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We will be making 35 chain stitches. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Now, after 35 stitches, grab the end of the chain and the beginning of the chain and wrap them around your wrist. Because the button is not functional, you need to be sure that you can slide this over your hand to get it on or off. So for me, 35 stitches is just fine, but this very much depends on person to person, especially bone structure. It's not necessarily a question of age or weight or size. I have made bracelets for girls that were not overweight and preteen that needed more chain stitches simply because they have a bigger bone structure. When you've made the number of chains that you think would be good for the bracelet, in my case 35, then end off. To end off, make 2 more chains, snip the yarn, leaving some extra yarn for the fluffy bits we're going to make. Pull out the yarn, pinch here and pull it tight. I will be making a video about how to end off projects very soon, but for now, just take my word on this one. You put this bit aside and you do it again, leaving some yarn end for the, what is vrijings in Engels? Fray? Decorative fray. Does that work in English? I don't know. It does now. Sidetrack over. Make a slip knot, leaving enough of a yarn end for the decorative fray we leave at the end of the bracelet. Yarn, hook through, yarn tight, hold your yarn, and now make the chain stitches, as many as you need for your wristlet, bracelet. In my case, it would be 35 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here's a hint. If you get tired of counting, try different languages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 2 sets of 10 makes 20. 9, peri, taro, ne, slano, salela, super, rubedi, rubon, leshome makes 30. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. That is the 35 we need for the bracelet. Again, here is the ending off. We make 2 more chain stitches. Cut the yarn. Pull out the hook. Pinch those 2 chain stitches and pull it tight. It will cause those 2 extra chain stitches to become a really tight knot at the end. Make 5 of these chain stitch lengths. Disclaimer, the 5 is not absolutely crucial. For this one I only made 4 because it was all the bamboo yarn that I had left. So after 4 I had to stop. This one was made with 5. But for this one, since I wanted an equal amount of red and greens, I made 3 red and 3 green, so it actually totals 6. For the last one that you make, however many you decide to make, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 32, 33, 34, 35, and then for the ending of 2 more. Now this time leave a considerably longer piece of yarn. We will use that to tie them all together and also to sew the button. As you can see, this one has, I'd say, like, I left 15 centimeters, which would make it I think 6 inches. Now is the time to thread this longer end through the eye of your needle. Then pick up your pieces of chain stitch and run the needle through that very first stitch there where the knot gets together. It doesn't really matter whether it's more through the stitch or partly through the knot, as long as it goes through there. You might need to tug a bit and pull it down all the way till that one, leaving one frayed end to hang. The next one, do the same. Pull it through and let it hang. There's another one, and another one, and another one. Looks like I made 6 instead of 5. Now well, so what you have now is one yarn attached to the needle, all the other frayed bits hanging to one end, and all the chains. Now take the first chain, try to make sure it's not twisted too much. It's not like absolutely crucial that there's no twists at all, but you don't want the whole thing to be completely like twisted around and around and around. It will take away from the dainty look. So take one of these strings, try to untwist it as much as possible, bring it over and run the needle through the knot at the other end, making it into the first circle. See, there's the ones that's still long, and the first one has been made into a circle. The next one, take it, untwist it, bring it over to the needle and work through. 2 done, 4 to go, since I made 6 after I said 5, and 1 more to go. This almost takes longer than the crocheting part did. So there we have all the frayed bits on one side and the circle made from the many chains on the other side. Now it's time to pull tight on this, which will bring the chains all together, and then run the needle through all of them again. The second time I don't do them individually, I just kind of like run through them to the other side. It does make this tugging bit a little bit harder, since the needle won't go through the stones. I'll have to, it's called a beading needle. If you just use a regular button, it will go through. I know, I've done the others without a problem. It's only because I want specifically to use these stones. Okay, there it goes. First one is through. Reconsidering my life choices, deciding to do precious stone beads on camera instead of just a regular button might not have been such a brilliant idea, but I thought it would look pretty, and so here we are. With a yarn end or sewing thread, if you prefer that, through my needle again, I'm going to run them through all these knots at the top one more time, getting my daily wrist work out. If I were using a button, at this point I would run it through the button again, then secure your yarn end of the sewing part, or the sewing thread, or whichever you have used. Whichever way you like to secure sewing thread, I just run it through there, zigzag 1 or 2 times, pull out your needle, then it's time for you to decide how long do you want this, what did I call it, decorative fray to be. We'll go to about here, which would be like maybe 4 centimeters, which is 1.5 inches approximately. And there we have a bracelet using nothing other than chain stitches and a bit of button or bead. Quick and easy chain stitch bracelet for summer. I just love the bamboo yarn. See you next time for another chain stitch only project. Have fun!